And what it comes down to is I have more in common with Hillary Clinton than I do with an InfoWars commenter or a red pill political site commenter. Because Hillary Clinton and the Barack Obamas and the Donald Trumps of the world, they don't buy into any of this shit either. They pursue their own happiness just as ruthlessly as I do. And they don't buy into the politics of it. They create the politics of it. They create the propaganda of it. Okay? Now, I'm not saying that I agree with these people's morality, but, and the vast majority of the world leaders, I do not agree with their morality because they are sociopaths. However, our agendas in terms of pursuing what we want and pursuing our happiness are the same. Okay? At the end of the day, you either recognize that or someone else is always going to lead you around. When you identify with a movement or you identify with an ideology, someone else is doing your thinking for you and someone else is able to influence you, and you are always going to be able to be triggered when that morality is attacked, which will then in turn make you less happy. Right? So really, really look into your life and look at how many of these ideologies you have and how many of them are holding you back from pursuing happiness, all right? And from enjoying your life. When I wake up at the start of the day, I'm not thinking about politics, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm thinking about like, all right, let's do my exercise, let's do a bit of work, let's go for a walk and enjoy, let's talk with some girls, let's, do some stretching, whatever it is. I'm walking around in nature here and it's beautiful, and I'm not thinking about any of that other shit. I'm not thinking about any of those negative things that are going to distract and detract from the quality of my life, okay? And I'm not saying that the world's not fucked up, and I'm not saying that like the leaders are, that it's acceptable, what these people are doing to our world and all the wars in it. It's horrible, okay? But look through history. It's always been that way. It's always one group invading the other, one group of people trying to impose their worldview on the rest of the world through force or through propaganda or through some other fucking bullshit. And it's never going to change. It's never going to be that utopia, because the most ruthless, the most intelligent, the most deceptive, these people are always going to rise to the top, and they're always going to do the same shit, and you just got to put that shit to the side, okay? You just gotta put that to the side, because even if you devote your whole life to this stuff, you're not even gonna make a difference. You're not even gonna make a difference unless you get to a position of real fucking power. And even then, it's extremely difficult. And there's so much working against you to get there, and the odds are so massive that, that you won't be able to affect change on a major level, okay? So, what I'm saying is, all the ideologies, conservatism, liberalism, whatever it is that you're tied to, you can believe in particular things, but just don't be tied to them, okay? I have ideas for how I think the world would be run and what I think would be effective, but that's just, intellectual entertainment for me. When I look at the politics, and I'll read some of the political sites, for me that's just out of interest. But I don't let my emotions get caught up into it. I don't read too much of it, and I just look at it as ways of like, I watch it, I read it to sort of expand my worldview and to see, how I can incorporate that into my strategies for living and things like that, and for a bit of intellectual entertainment. But I don't subscribe to it. I don't let it affect my reality. I don't let it affect my state, any of that stuff. And the same goes with the red pill stuff, okay? You gotta put that behind you. You can use the concepts, and I talk about red pill stuff as well. You can use those concepts, but make sure that they're serving you and you're not serving them. Make sure that you are applying those concepts as strategies to increase the pursuit of your own happiness. And that's all there is, because at the end of the day, every single person wants to feel joy at all moments. We're chasing that at all times, whether you realize it or not. You're always chasing that pure joy, okay? You're always chasing that. That's why you're focusing on money, you're focusing on cars, you're focusing on women, you're focusing on drugs and booze and this, that, and the other. It's all to feel good. Okay, it's all to feel happy. So whether you realize it or not, whether you try to or not, you are always going to be moving towards pleasure and avoiding pain. So the smartest, most logical thing to do is to make the pursuit of your happiness your primary priority and to disregard anything that gets the fuck in the way of that, all right? That includes ideologies. It includes the tribalism that comes with an ideology, where you identify with an ideology and that's your tribe, and then that tribe gets attacked and you get upset, all right? You got to put that stuff to the side. At least that's my brand. I mean, there's a lot of guys who are talking about politics and things like that, and this is not a hater post against those guys. I don't have anything against those guys whatsoever. That's their message, and you know, whatever anyone else is doing, I'm 100% cool with that. My message is this, and I just want you to look at it logically, is you want to be happy. You want to feel as much happiness as possible. Therefore, do and say and think the things that make that pursuit of happiness possible, right? And that involves removing yourself from dogmatism, from ideologies, and looking at the world in an open way, the model agnosticism, and that gives you so much liberation of thought. If you've been stuck into these reality tunnels and these rigid reality tunnels, once you start to liberate yourself from that, the world becomes much more interesting again, because you can just create different models for yourself and you can play with them, and it becomes sort of like an intellectual entertainment, and you can see, like, how can I use that for the pursuit of my happiness, even if it's just for an intellectual exercise to enjoy, but not getting caught up into it and identifying with it and getting upset when other people do things that you can't control.